A few months ago, this happened. Ever since then, I've been feeling more powerful than ever. Yeah, I look pretty crazy. You're probably wondering what the heck did I do, but you gotta stay tuned for the video because earlier that day, I'm really excited because I have some acne scars, if you don't know. Basically, they're gonna take my own blood and then they're going to microneedle this area with that blood to, take out some of the scarring. I've already gotten a few crazy looks from strangers. I can already see some of the textural improvement already, and it hasn't even been a whole day yet after the procedure, so this helps with the blood withdrawals. We're gonna go and do that. Look at these keys. They're not mine, but they're the bathroom keys. So right now we're numbing the face, and if you wanna ask me if I'm nervous, not really, because it's kind of like a facial, and we're basically gonna improve the skin quality and maybe hopefully get rid of some of this old acne scarring. If you mention this video to Dr. Karimi's office, you will get a special discount off of any, that's right, I said any treatment that Dr. Karimi's office offers. They will give you a special discount. All of Dr. Karimi's info will be linked in the information box below. The best way to reach them is through email or calling them directly. They also have great reviews on Yelp. But first off, what exactly is PRP?
So PRP has been around since 1998, and it's when you draw blood, spin it down, you actually add the blood to anticoagulants, which basically just strips those platelets, which are those magical cells that have all the growth factors. So when you use PRP, whether on a wound or inside of a wound or after microneedling, the platelets will release their growth factors for a few seconds, minutes, and it's done. So the difference with PRF, which stands for platelet-rich fibrin, the platelets are not removed from their surrounding scaffolding. So the platelets have like a network that they're all kind of hanging out in, and so you get this slow release of growth factors, which will work for over a week. And so that's the main difference between PRF and PRP. So what we're going to be doing right now, if I were to put any type of skincare on your skin or anything, only about 3% of it would get absorbed.
Right.
Microneedles, we're going to be creating thousands of channels through your skin. Are you excited about that? And that gives us 80 to 85% absorption deep into the deeper layers of the skin for about 10 to 15 minutes. So we're basically creating channels to access the skin to the deepest layers.
Like I saw, a few years ago, Kim Kardashian doing the vampire blood facial, and it's called different things. Like, is that different from what we're doing today?
It is. So the vampire facial was actually coined by a plastic surgeon named Charles Runnels. He patented this terminology of using a certain type of PRP after microneedling. And it was, of course, a very famous photo because he had her bloody face. So this is kind of like the next version of that. Okay. I don't have a catchy name for it yet, but the technology is kind of like 2.0 from the vampire facial.
It's even further improved.
Absolutely. Okay. This is Edward's PRF.
I can't believe that came out of me. That's just, it's so weird.
So this is literally liquid gold. You can see the kind of golden fraction. These are all the red blood cells that we don't want because they're not really helpful for skin. But these are the platelets surrounded by their fibrin. These are the white blood cells, which are the anti-inflammatory cells, which are very important with our immune system. And there's a small little part here that are the mesenchymal stem cells that are floating around in our blood. So I'm going to just pop this top off. And basically, I'm just going to draw the PRF portion very slowly. And actually, I can tell by your PRF that you live a healthy lifestyle. This looks like the PRF of someone who has a good diet. So when people have a sweet tooth, and they've had a bunch of sugar and crap, the PRF looks milky and white. So we're going to just put a little bit of PRF right here. Perfect. You can see he's just dropping it on there. Good. Microneedling with PRF is actually really good for active acne as well. So people that get a lot of breakouts, this is a really nice way to treat that. Great. So the PRF acts as a nice smooth layer so that my pen can smoothly move over the skin here. Of course, we're penetrating it deep into the skin, and it also acts as a kind of like a healing mask. So Edward here, I can tell, has really good skin because sometimes at 2 millimeters, there's already like a lot of blood coming through, which tells me that someone has thinner skin. So a lot of times our nostrils have a lot of congestion, and they'll have little blackheads and pores, and microneedling is amazing for those. Now you don't really have a lot of crow's feet, but just these tiny little lines here, treating this with microneedling is phenomenal. Microneedling can also be used to kind of maintain the tightness of the upper eyelids. The PRF is doing exactly what we want. It's kind of forming this like dry, it usually feels kind of tight. And what it's doing is kind of shrink wrapping to bring down inflammation, and all those platelets now are surrounded by their fibrin and they're penetrating deep into your skin. And so this little mask layer is nice to leave on for an hour or so if you can before you wash it off, because that's going to give the maximum benefit.
So this is what my skin looks like immediately after the treatment. You guys can see, obviously, got some dried up PRF on there. My skin feels really tight right now. Almost like I have a clay mask on. Kind of uncomfortable because it feels really tight. This is basically like, getting a facial or wearing a clay mask. This is the area that is a little bit more tight and swollen. He really went in deep to get rid of some of that acne scarring. And honestly, I can already see some of the textural improvement already, and it hasn't even been a whole day yet after the procedure. So I'm gonna have to do this probably 2 or 3 more times within the next few months. And of course, I'll bring you guys along with me for those updates. Probably the worst part is going out in public and getting weird stares from people because I have dried blood on my face. I've already gotten a few crazy looks from strangers. Okay, so I just washed my face and here's what it looks like. So this is how my skin looks on day 2. It's been about 24 hours since my skin treatment, and you can see right here, he went in a little deeper on these areas because we wanted to get some of the texturing smoother here. So we went in pretty deep. This part is more red, it's a little bit darker. And also here he went in to get into the acne scarring. So guys, I just want to share with you my secret weapons for my recovery. They are not sponsoring this video. They are not paying for me to say this. And even when I do get sponsored videos, by the way, I don't talk about products I don't actually like. I'm just letting y'all know that they are not sponsoring this video. I wish they were sponsoring this video, but they aren't. If my own mom was to get a laser or microneedling treatment, I would suggest for her to use this after the procedure. I'll put the links for all this stuff in the information box below. This is the Regenerating Skin Nectar from Elastin. It has soothing anti-inflammatory ingredients in a water-free formulation. This is great before or after you get any lasers done on your face or microneedling. It's also even really good for sensitive skin conditions like rosacea or acne. And this right here is the Ultra Nourishing Moisturizer. This is good for post-procedure, like after any lasers, after any microneedling. It's not gonna sting or irritate your skin like a lot of other moisturizers might. And it's fragrance-free, oil-free. I love this stuff. I love this so much that I actually am gonna incorporate these products into my regular routine, even when I'm done healing, because they're just that good. So highly recommend you guys check out Elastin if you're ever going to do any kind of microneedling, lasering, or even if you just have sensitive skin. Try them out.
So the big question is, should I go just as aggressive as last time?
Oh, maybe even more.
Okay. And the really interesting thing with microneedling is that I don't just look at the settings and just replicate it. I look and see what your skin is doing and how it's reacting. And we know, so when you look at skin under a microscope after microneedling, it doubles the amount of collagen and the thickness of the top layer of the skin, the epidermis, and the layer below it, the dermis. And there's been some really good studies done by dermatologists proving that. So I went deeper on the nasal labials and kind of like this mid-cheek area. When you go a little bit deeper, then you experience things like redness and discoloration and all the things that you experienced.
I had a lot of scarring here and here, and I've noticed that the scarring has definitely softened.
What I'm going to have you use after this procedure, and I know you've been using it since our last one, is the Elastin skin line. So the Elastin skincare line is clinically proven to really infuse the skin with peptides and a lot of the building blocks needed to form collagen and elastin. But the Elastin skin line is an amazing supplement to our skin.
It's been about 2 hours. I feel like the PRF mask is like pulling on my skin. Even my eyes are a little bit like, once I wash it off, the tightness will go away.
So how was the recovery last time? Was it about the same in terms of like redness?
The recovery last time was actually so much easier.
So actually that makes a lot of sense because they've done a lot of really well done studies looking at skin thickness after microneedling, and actually for a period of time the skin thickness doubles. And so you get all this extra collagen. That's why it's called collagen induction therapy, or CIT. We can use it for microneedling. We can use it as an injectable. So if I were to inject this into his face, it would act as a filler, which is not what we're doing today. But this just has such amazing restorative and regenerative abilities.
How do you know when somebody, whether you're going to inject somebody with the PRF versus what we're doing, which is just on the surface?
Sure. So PRF can be used either as an injectable, it can be used topically like we're doing, or you can actually do both. For you, for example, you don't need volumization. So volume-wise, structurally, everything is great. What we've been doing and accomplishing is improving your skin quality. So in that instance, we're going to use PRF as a topical after something like microneedling rather than injecting it. So here I'm at 1.5 millimeters depth, thicker than when I started the very first time, and I'm just barely seeing some punctate bleeding. So what this tells me is, again, that the skin has been thickening throughout these treatments, and by thickening I mean more robust with collagen. So before we started, we took a look at Edward's before and after photos, and just after 2 sessions, the biggest area of improvement that we've seen are these target areas, the nasolabial folds, particularly the skin quality over the cheek here has improved quite a bit. It just looks much better on photos. The pore size has definitely decreased, and the skin just has a healthier glow to it. The other thing that we've seen, Edward doesn't have a lot of fine lines around his eyes, but the few that were there have also been improved, and we could see that photographically. So if you notice, I'm constantly changing the depth of my microneedling pen to customize to the different depths of the face.
I met a girl at the event yesterday actually, and she told me she had microneedling. After the procedure, she wasn't even red, because sometimes people don't go deep enough, right?
That's right. Yeah, you really, to have an effective session, you really need to be red. And in fact, you need to have what's called punctate bleeding. The Elastin skin nectar is so helpful after almost any procedure that we do.
I love that product.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. I mean, I use it as a daily, but particularly after procedures, I'll use the Elastin nectar for pretty much everything.
Do you use nectar daily?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you watched till the end of the video, I want you to reward yourself by checking out Audible. They have audiobooks on everything from skincare to fitness to self-improvement, and you can get your first audiobook for free, plus 2 Audible originals when you try Audible for 30 days. Just visit audible.com/EdwardZo or text EdwardZo to 500-500. One of my favorite books is this one right here, and I also love Audible originals, which are exclusive titles that you can only find on Audible. Remember, go to audible.com/EdwardZo or text EdwardZo to 500-500 to get started. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you guys check out all of the important information in the information box below. I will put out all the links, the emails, the contact numbers, all of that will be linked in the information box below. Hope you learned something new. I would recommend that you guys absolutely check out Dr. Karimi. I had a great experience, and I think my skin looks great right now. So yeah, check him out. See you guys next time. Bye.